Enter the enchanting forest, where whispers of ancient trees and babbling brooks weave tales of timeless wisdom. As you drift into slumber, let the gentle rustle of leaves and flowing water carry you into the realm of Thaddeus, the wise turtle. Amidst a chorus of birdsong, Zephyr the hare issues a challenge, boasting of unmatched speed. Surprisingly, Thaddeus accepts, setting the stage for a race of patience against haste. Seeking guidance from the forest's elders, Thaddeus learns resilience and purpose. Meanwhile, Zephyr, blinded by arrogance, forgoes wisdom for speed. As the race unfolds, Thaddeus' deliberate pace and foresight outshine Zephyr's recklessness. Through patience and determination, Thaddeus emerges victorious, imparting a lesson in true triumph. Let the serenity of the woodland lull you into a peaceful sleep, guided by the timeless wisdom of the venerable turtle, Thaddeus. Chapter 1. The Race Against Time. In the heart of an enchanted forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the brooks sang melodies of old, there lived a wise old turtle named Thaddeus. Thaddeus was revered among the forest creatures for his patience and determination, virtues that had guided him through countless seasons. One sunlit morning, as the forest awoke to the symphony of birdsong, a challenge was issued. Zephyr the hare, known for his swiftness, and not without a touch of arrogance, declared before the assembly of animals, "I am the fastest in all the land, unmatched and unrivaled. Who among you dares to race against me?" His voice, laced with confidence, echoed through the clearing, silencing the morning chatter. The animals exchanged glances, none daring to accept the challenge. That was until Thaddeus, moving at his own unhurried pace, made his way to the center of the gathering. "I will accept your challenge, Zephyr," he said, his voice steady and calm. A murmur of disbelief spread among the animals for what chance did a turtle, known for his slow gait, stand against the swift hare. Zephyr laughed, a sound like rustling leaves. "Very well, old turtle. Let us race. We shall see if your patience can outmatch my speed." The terms were set, and the forest buzzed with anticipation. The race was to be held at dawn in 3 days' time. From the ancient oak at the forest edge to the crystal clear waters of Silver Lake. As the news of the race spread, the animals began to choose their favorites, most casting doubtful glances at Thaddeus, wondering at the wisdom of his decision. But Thaddeus remained undisturbed, his mind as still as the deep waters of the lake he called home. In the days leading up to the race, while Zephyr spent his hours boasting and basking in the adulation of his admirers, Thaddeus embarked on a journey of his own. He traversed the path of the race, noting each bend in the road, each root that breached the earth's surface, and every patch of slippery moss. He understood that to win against Zephyr, he would need more than just determination. He needed wisdom and strategy. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Thaddeus consulted with his oldest friends, the owls, the trees, and the wind. From the owls, he learned to see beyond the obvious, to observe what was hidden in plain sight. The trees taught him about resilience, the strength found in bending with the breeze rather than standing rigid against the storm. And from the wind, he learned the art of moving with purpose, letting no obstacle deter him from his path. Armed with this wisdom, Thaddeus prepared for the race. A calm resolve settled in his heart. He knew that victory lay not in the swiftness of one's legs, but in the steadiness of one's spirit. In the heart of the forest, where the sun filtered through the dense canopy, casting a mosaic of light upon the forest floor, Zephyr the hare reveled in the attention of all his fellow creatures. His confidence soared like an eagle in flight, for in his heart, he harbored no doubt of his impending victory. How could a troll, a creature born to the slow march of time, ever hope to best me? He mused aloud, his laughter ringing through the trees. Zephyr spent his days in leisure, basking under the sun's warm embrace and feasting on the forest's bounty. He paid no heed to the whispers of the wind or the counsel of the wise. Speed is my ally, and with it, I shall claim victory before Thaddeus has barely crossed the start, he boasted to anyone who would listen. And night before the race, while Thaddeus consulted the stars, seeking their ancient wisdom, Zephyr celebrated with his admirers, his mind not on the path ahead, but on the glory he believed already his. He retired late, the moon high in the sky, its silver light casting shadows that danced and flickered like the flames of a fading fire. The dawn of the race arrived, a chorus of birds heralding the new day. The forest awoke, anticipation hanging in the air like morning mists. Creatures big and small made their way to the ancient oak, the starting point of the race that would soon unfold. Zephyr, confident and unbothered by the whispers of doubt among the crowd, took his place beside Thaddeus. He glanced at the turtle, a smirk dancing on his lips. "May you enjoy the view of my tail, old friend, for that is all you shall see of me this day," he quipped, after going in his wake. Thaddeus, unfazed by the hare's taunt, simply nodded, a serene smile upon his face. "May the race be fair, and may we both learn from the journey ahead," he replied, his voice steady, a stark contrast to Zephyr's frivolous tone. With a flutter of wings, the owl, chosen as the race's arbiter for wisdom and impartiality, soared above them. "Upon my mark," she hooted, her voice carrying clear and strong. The forest held its breath, a moment of commencement upon them. "Go." The word was a thunderclap, sending Zephyr darting forward like an arrow loosed from its bow. Thaddeus, in stark contrast, began his journey with a deliberate step, each movement thoughtful, each pace steady. The hare's overconfidence had blinded him to the virtue of preparation, his heart filled with dreams of victory, but not the diligence required to secure it. As Zephyr sped down the path, his laughter still echoing behind him, he gave no thought to the road that lay ahead, certain of his when against the slow and steady turtle. As Zephyr dashed ahead, his heart beating with the thrill of the chase, he paid no mind to the path that unfolded before him. His eyes were fixed on the distant horizon and on the victory he deemed already his. The forest blurred past him, a tapestry of green and brown that he scarcely noticed in his haste. Thaddeus, however, moved with a purposeful grace, each step a testament to his years of wisdom. He observed the path with keen eyes, mindful of the lessons he had learned from his nocturnal consultations. The forest in turn seemed to acknowledge his passage, the trees whispering encouragement, the brooks murmuring support. Before long, Zephyr's initial burst of speed began to wane. His breath came in heavy gasps, and his legs ached at the exertion of his unchecked sprint. It was then that he encountered his first true challenge, a thicket of brambles that stretched across the path, thorns glinting like tiny daggers in the sunlight. In his arrogance, Zephyr had failed to anticipate such obstacles. Without hesitation, he attempted to leap over the thicket, only to miscalculate his jump. He landed amidst the thorns, our sharp embrace punishing his pride. It took precious moments for him to disentangle himself, each second a heavy toll on his lid. Meanwhile, Thaddeus approached the same thicket with caution. He had anticipated this challenge and, remembering the wisdom of the trees, chose to take a slightly longer path he had noticed during his preparations. A path around the thicket, one that was clear and free of obstructions. Though it added distance to his journey, it allowed him to maintain a steady pace, unimpeded by the brambles that had ensnared Zephyr. As Thaddeus emerged on the other side of the thicket, he caught sight of Zephyr, now visibly fatigued and struggling to regain his speed. The hare's earlier confidence had waned, replaced by a dawning realization of his folly. The turtle, with unwavering determination, continued on his path. The forest seemed to rally around him, its inhabitants emerging to watch the race unfold. Birds fluttered from branch to branch, spreading the word of the unexpected turn of events. while the smaller creatures of the forest floor whispered in awe of Thaddeus' dissolve. Zephyr, now humbled by his predicament, pushed forward with dwindling vigor. The swift hare, once the epitome of speed and grace, now faltered, his earlier boasts echoing mockingly in his ears. The tide of the race had turned, not through sheer speed, but through patience, wisdom, and the understanding that the journey itself holds as much value as its end. Thaddeus, the embodiment of these virtues, now found himself closing the gap between him and Zephyr, the end of the race drawing near with each steady step. As the sun reached its zenith, casting a golden light upon the land, the race that had captured the hearts and minds of all in the enchanted forest neared its end. Zephyr, with his energy spent and his spirit bruised, could barely believe the sight that greeted his weary eyes. Thaddeus the turtle, steady and yielding, drawing level with him. The creatures of the forest, gathered in a throng at the edge of Silver Lake, watched with bated breath as the two competitors approached. Whispers of amazement rustled through the meads, carried on the wings of birds, and the scurrying of small creatures. Today they will witness a conclusion to a tale that would be recounted for generations. Thaddeus, with each deliberate step, drew closer to the Laristal. Cooler waters of Silver Lake, the finish line now in sight. His heart was calm, his spirit untroubled. He had not rushed, yet he had not tarried. He had simply moved with purpose, guided by the wisdom of the forest, and the strength of his resolve. Zephyr, on the other hand, was a portrait of despair. His rapid pace had diminished to a stagger, his kind and boastful eyes now downcast. The realization of his folly weighed heavily upon him, a burden far greater than any physical exhaustion. And then, in a moment that seemed to suspend time itself, Thaddeus crossed the threshold of the finish line, his final step into the waters of Silver Lake sending ripples across its surface. The forest erupted into cheers and jubilation, a celebration of the triumph of patience and wisdom over haste and arrogance. Zephyr, arriving moments later, could only hang his head in defeat. Yet, as he looked upon Thaddeus, who turned to him with a gaze not of triumph, of understanding and of compassion, something within him shifted. The hare had learned a valuable lesson, one that he would carry with him henceforth. Thaddeus spoke, his voice carrying across the waters of Silver Lake. Let this race be a lesson not just to you, Zephyr, but to all who witnessed our journey. Victory is not always to the swift, nor success to the strong. Patience, wisdom, and determination are virtues that lead to true triumph. The animals of the forest, from the smallest ant to the loftiest eagle, took these words to heart. They realized that Thaddeus' victory was not a testament to his physical strength, but to the strength of his character. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows upon the land, the creatures of the enchanted forest came together in celebration. They danced and sang, honoring not just the victory of Thaddeus, but the lessons learned this day. Zephyr, humbled yet grateful for the wisdom imparted upon him, approached Thaddeus. "Thank you," he said, his voice sincere, "for showing me the value of patience and preparation. You are truly the wisest among us." Thaddeus, with a gentle smile, replied, "We all walk different paths, Zephyr. Sometimes, we must lose our way to find a journey that truly matters." And so, as twilight enveloped the forest, the creatures returned to their homes, their hearts lighted, their spirits enriched by the timeless tales of Thaddeus, the wise old turtle. His victory at the race against Zephyr would be remembered, not as a tale of competition, but as a parable of the enduring power of patience, wisdom, and the steady march towards one's goals. In the heart of the enchanted forest, life continued, ever guided by the timeless tales of Thaddeus, whose wisdom illuminated the path for all who sought to walk it. Chapter 2. The Quest for the Lost Treasure. In the days that followed the celebrated race between Thaddeus the turtle and Zephyr the hare, a new tale began to weave its way through the heart of the enchanted forest. It was a tale as old as the forest itself, spoken in hushed tones beneath the ancient boughs and whispered across the babbling brooks. This was the legend of the Golden Lotus, a treasure of unparalleled beauty and power, said to grant wisdom and happiness to the one who possessed it. The Golden Lotus, according to the legend, lay hidden in the depths of the enchanted forest, protected by a spell of invisibility that could only be broken under the light of a full moon. It was a treasure that many had sought, but none had found, for its guardians were the spirits of the forest, ancient beings of magic and might, who valued wisdom above all else. Thaddeus, who had become something of a sage among the forest creatures for his victory against the hare and his timeless wisdom, gathered the animals under the great oak, where all significant gatherings were held. With the full moon approaching, interest in the legend had been rekindled, and many were eager to embark on a quest to find the Golden Lotus. As we seek the Golden Lotus, Thaddeus began, his voice as calm and steady as the slow-moving river. Let us remember that the journey ahead is one of wisdom and patience. The forest will test us, not to thwart us, but to teach us. For the true treasure is not the lotus itself, but the wisdom and friendship we gain along the way. Among the gathered animals was Marlowe, a monkey known for his boundless energy and impulsive nature. Mara's eyes sparkled with excitement at the prospect of the adventure. "Let's set off at once," he exclaimed, barely able to contain his enthusiasm. "Think of the wonders we'll find, the challenges we'll overcome." Thaddeus smiled gently at Marlowe's eagerness. "Yes, it will set off on our quest, but we must do so with thoughtful steps and open hearts. The path to the Golden Lotus is not one of speed, but of understanding." And so, under the silver glow of the full moon, Thaddeus led a band of intrepid adventurers into the heart of the enchanted forest. Their quest for the Golden Lotus had begun, a journey that would take them through whispering valleys and across ancient, forgotten paths. The forest, alive with the magic of the moonlight night, seemed to watch over them, its ancient guardians whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. Thaddeus moved with purpose, guiding his companions with the wisdom of one who understood the language of the forest. Marlowe, however, found it difficult to temper his excitement. He darted ahead, eager to be the first to lay eyes on the legendary lotus. But Thaddeus knew that the forest rewarded patience, not haste, and he cautioned Marlowe to heed the lessons of the journey. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the legend of the Golden Lotus unfolded before them, a tale of magic and mystery, and the timeless wisdom of the natural world. It was a quest that would challenge them, teach them, and ultimately reveal to them the true treasure of the enchanted forest. As the group entered deeper into the heart of the enchanted forest, the path before them grew dense with ancient trees, their branches woven together like the threads of an age-old tapestry. The moonlight, though bright, could barely pierce the canopy above, casting the forest floor into a realm of shadows and whispers. Marlowe, with his usual zeal, was the first to voice the concern and silently among the adventurers. "How will we find our way through this labyrinth of darkness? The Golden Lotus could be hidden in any corner of this vast forest." It was then that Thaddeus, with the patience of the age-old earth beneath him, spoke, his voice a calm in the dim light. "The forest speaks to those who listen," he said, pausing to let the sounds of the night fill the air. Each rustle of the leaves, each whisper of the wind carries the wisdom of the ancients. We must listen, and the path will reveal itself. The animals, though doubtful, fell silent, allowing the symphony of the forest to wash over them. In the stillness, Thaddeus closed his eyes, a serene expression upon his face. After a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, he turned his gaze towards a seemingly inconspicuous part of the thicket, where the underbrush seemed to dance gently even without a breeze. "Follow me," Thaddeus said, his confidence as solid as the ancient oaks that stood sentinel around them. With careful steps, He led the group through the dense foliage, moving with a certainty that belied his slow pace. Marlowe, though impatient, could not deny the subtle magic at work. Where they walked, the forest seemed to part, the shadows receding to reveal hidden paths that glowed faintly in the moonlight. It was as if the forest itself was guiding them, offering its blessings to those wise enough to heed its call. As the night deepened, the group encountered a clearing bathed in the silver glow of the moon. In the center stood an ancient stone, its surface covered in moss and etchings that spoke of the old magic. Thaddeus approached the stone, his eyes tracing the patterns that seemed to tell a story. This stone is a guardian of the forest. While Thaddeus explained, his voice filled with reverence. His markings are not mere decorations but a map, a guide to those who seek the wisdom of the golden lotus. The group gathered around, marveling at the discovery. Thaddeus, with a wisdom born of countless moons, deciphered the etchings, speaking of rivers that flowed with the light of stars and trees that whispered the secrets of the earth. The path to the golden Indus is not straight or easier. Thaddeus said, his gaze meeting each of their eyes. But with patience and understanding, we will find our way. The forest does not hinder us, but teaches us. Each challenge, each obstacle is a lesson in disguise. Marlowe, moved by the turtle's words, felt a shift within him. The impatience that had once driven him now seemed distant, replaced by a budding sense of wonder and respect for the wisdom of the forest. The group set off once again, their spirits lifted by Dedu's guidance. They moved with a newfound harmony, their steps guided by the wisdom of the forest and the steady heart of the turtle who lead them. As dawn approached, painting the sky with hues of gold and pink, the adventurers realized that the journey they had embarked upon was more than a quest for a hidden treasure. It was a journey of discovery, of learning to listen to the silent wisdom of the world around them. Guided by the steady, wise heart of Thaddeus, the turtle's wisdom illuminated their path through the darkest of woods. As the sun rose, casting a golden glow over the enchanted forest, the adventurers continued on their path, guided by Thaddeus' unwavering wisdom, the subtle whispers of the forest. Despite the lessons of the night, Marlowe, impatience simmered beneath the surface, a storm waiting to break free. The group had come to a part of the forest where the trees stretched taller than the eyes could see, their leaves a tapestry of green and gold. It was here that they encountered a fork in the path, each road cloaked in shadows and mystery. Thaddeus, ever the sage, suggested a moment of rest. But let us pause and reflect, he proposed. The forest will reveal the path, that is true, but Marlowe, his spirit is restless as a gust of wind, scoffed at the idea of delay. We've rested enough, he declared, his voice tinged with the impatience that bubbled within. The treasure waits for no one. They say we take the left path. It looks the quickest. Despite Thaddeus' gentle warnings of trust, could not be swayed. With a defiant leap, he bounded down the left path, his confidence as bright as the morning sun. Come on, he hauled back. Fortune favors the bold. The group, caught in a whirl of uncertainty, hesitated. But the bond of their shared quest, and the fear of leaving Marlowe to face the unknown alone, urged them forward. With a collective sigh, they followed the monkey, leaving the wisdom of their turtle guide momentarily behind. The path, however, proved treacherous. The ground was uneven, littered with roots and stones that seemed to grasp at their feet with every step. The air grew thick and heavy, filled with the sound of unseen creatures that watched from the shadows. Marlowe, driven by the thrill of the chase, noticed none of this. His eyes were fixed on the prize, the legendary golden lotus, and the glory that it would bring. But his recklessness soon led him into the heart of the forest's spiral, a dense thicket that closed around them like a trap. Suddenly, a loud snap echoed through the air as Marlowe, in his haste, triggered a snare set by the forest's guardians. Vines as thick as rope shot out from the ground, entangling him in a tight embrace. The more he struggled, the tighter they held, a physical manifestation of his impatience. The group rushed to his aid, their hearts heavy with worry. Thaddeus, calm as ever, approached the ensnared Marlowe. "Impatience leads to folly," he said, not in judgment but in kindness. "But patience can undo the knots of haste." With gentle hands and a steady heart, Thaddeus guided the group in unraveling the vines. It was a slow process, each movement deliberate and thoughtful, mirroring the pace of their wise leader. Marlowe, caught in the grip of his actions, could only watch in humble silence. As the last of the vines fell away, Marlowe's spirit, once buoyed by impulsive zeal, was tempered by the ordeal. He looked to Thaddeus, his eyes filled with a newfound understanding. "I see now the folly of my ways," he admitted, his voice a whisper among the trees. "The path of wisdom is one of patience and care." The group, united once more, continued on their journey, their pace measured and their hearts light. Marlowe, walking beside Thaddeus, had learned a valuable lesson. The forest, with all its mysteries and dangers, was a teacher of great patience and wisdom. Then the journey to the Golden Lotus, a quest not for the swift but for the thoughtful. The adventurers had not traveled far from the site of Mohawk's entanglement when the dense forest opened up to reveal a vast, rushing river. Its waters were ruddered with a ferocity that spoke of ancient rains and untold secrets, a barrier that seemed insurmountable in their quest for the Golden Lotus. Thaddeus, with a gaze as deep as the river itself, studied the tumultuous waters. "This river," he began, his voice steady amidst the roar, "is both a guardian and a gatekeeper. It tests the mettle of those who seek the treasures beyond." The group stood at the river's edge, the spray of the cold, rushing water touching their faces like the fingers of fate, challenging them to proceed. It was here that the lessons of their journey of patience, wisdom, and a folly of haste would be put to the test. Marlowe, his early impatience now tempered with humility, looked to Thaddeus. "How shall we cross?" he asked, his voice echoing the uncertainty that gripped them all. Thaddeus, closing his eyes in deep thought, finally spoke. "We must build a raft," he declared, "one that is strong enough to carry us and gentle enough to glide upon the waters with respect." The task was daunting, yet the adventurers, inspired by their trials and the wisdom of their guide, set to work. They gathered fallen branches and sturdy vines, the forest offering its bounty to aid their quest. Every knot tied and every plank set was a testament to their unity and the lessons learned on their journey. As the raft took shape, Thaddeus shared a tale from the ancient lore of the forest, of a time when the river had been a mere stream, and how it grew to its mighty form by the patience and perseverance of the earth itself. "Let this raft be a testament to our journey," he said. "A journey not of distance, but of growth." That the raft completed, the adventurers carefully positioned it at the river's edge. Thaddeus, with a wisdom born of countless seasons, instructed them on how to balance their weight and move the river's flow, not against it. As they pushed off from the bank, the river's current seized them with a power that tested their resolve. But they stood firm, their hearts united by the trust in each other and the lessons of their journey. The raft, a symbol of their patience and teamwork, held strong against the rushing waters, gliding forward with a grace that belied the river's might. The crossing was not without its trials. Swirling eddies and hidden rocks threatened to undo their hard work, but each challenge was met with the calm determination they had learned from Thaddeus. Marlowe, once the embodiment of haste, now worked in harmony with the group, his movements deliberate and thoughtful. As they reached the far bank, the group let out a collective sigh of relief and triumph. They had faced the perils of the rushing river and emerged stronger, their spirits buoyed by the victory over the challenge that had once seemed insurmountable. Thaddeus, stepping onto the bank last, looked upon his companions with a proud gaze. "The river, like life, is a journey," he said, his voice carrying the weight of truth. "It rushes and roars, but with patience, unity, and respect for its power, we can navigate its waters and reach the shores of our dreams." The adventurers, their hearts full of gratitude and newfound wisdom, continued on their quest, the golden lotus now not just a treasure to be found, but a symbol of the journey they had undertaken together, a journey of patience, wisdom, and the understanding that true strength lies in the steady determination to overcome the perils that lie in the path of those who dare to dream. Beyond the tumultuous embrace of the rushing river, the forest opened its heart to the adventurers, revealing a glen bathed in the ethereal light of the setting sun. The air was filled with a tranquil silence, a stark contrast to the challenges they had faced. It was here in the heart of the enchanted forest that the legend of the Golden Lotus was said to reside. The group moved forward, led by Thaddeus, whose steady presence had been their guiding star. The glen was alive with the vibrant hues of flowers and the gentle hum of bees, a hidden paradise untouched by time. As they reached the center of the glen, their eyes fell upon a sight of breathtaking beauty. A pond as clear as crystal, its waters still and serene. And there, in the midst of the pond, bloomed a single lotus, its petals glimmering with a golden light that seemed to hold the very essence of the sun. "The golden lotus," whispered Marlowe, his voice a mixture of awe and reverence. The group gathered at the water's edge, their journeys in within reach. As they stood there, captivated by the lotus's radiant beauty, Thaddeus spoke, his voice carrying the depth of the ancient wisdom that had guided them. "The golden lotus is indeed a treasure," he began, "but not in the way many believe. Its true value does not lie in its golden petals or the light it casts. The real treasure is the journey it has inspired, the lessons illuminated, and the bonds forged." The group listened, the truth of Thaddeus' words settling in their hearts. They reflected on their journey, on the challenges they had overcome, and the wisdom they had gained. The impatience, the fear, and the uncertainty that had once guided their steps had been transformed but paced by patience, courage, and a deep understanding of the interdependence of all things. Marlowe, who had once sought the lotus for the glory and recognition it would bring, now saw the deeper wisdom it represented. "The lotus is a mirror," he said, his eyes alight with newfound insight, reflecting the journey within us. The growth and understanding that comes from walking the path with an open heart. The group did not reach for the lotus. Instead, it chose to leave it untouched, a guardian of the wisdom they had uncovered. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the glen in a golden light, they understood that the true treasure was the transformation within themselves, the inner treasure of wisdom, friendship, and the realization that the journey's value lies in the lies and teachings of hearts full of gratitude and spirits enriched by the journey. They turned back, leaving the glen as they found it, a hidden paradise that held the eternal truth of the golden lotus. Their journey back through the forest was not one of departure, but of return, carrying within the inner treasure that would illuminate their paths forevermore. The quest for the golden lotus had ended, but the journey of their lives had been irrevocably changed. They had sought a treasure believed to grant wisdom and happiness, only to discover that true wisdom lies in the journey, and happiness in the companionship, on the growth that comes from facing the world with patience, understanding, and As the adventurers retraced their steps through the enchanted forest, the world around them seemed to sing with a newfound clarity. Their journey back was not marked by the urgency that had propelled them forward, but by a reflected tranquility, a deep appreciation for every moment and every step. Upon their return to the forest edge where their quest had begun, the animals of the forest gathered, sensing the profound change that had taken place. Thaddeus, Marlowe, and their companions stood before their friends, not as the animals who had ventured forth in search of a golden lotus, but as bearers of the wisdom and the inner treasure they had discovered. Under the canopy of the ancient trees, a celebration took place. Unlike any the forest had seen, it was a celebration not of conquest, but of growth, not of a treasure found, but of the journey itself and the lessons it had imparted. Thaddeus, with a gentle smile, shared the tales of their adventure, of the challenges faced, and the obstacles overcome. He spoke of the rushing river and the perilous crossing, of the discovery of the golden lotus, and the realization that the true treasure lay not in the golden petals, but in the journey and the wisdom it brought. Marlowe, with a humility that had replaced his impatience, recounted his own transformation. He spoke of the lessons learned in patience, in understanding the value of each moment, and the strength found in steady determination. His words, once filled with haste, now carried the depth of his experience. The animals of the forest listened, captivated by the tales of adventure and transformation. The celebration was filled with laughter and joy, but beneath it lay a profound sense of unity and understanding. The forest itself seemed to embrace the adventurers, its ancient trees whispering the timeless truth of their journey. As the moon rose high above, casting its silver light through the trees, the celebration took on a reflective quality. Each animal, inspired by the tales of Thaddeus and his companions, shared their own stories, their own dreams, and the lessons they had learned from the forest and from each other. The celebration of slow and steady is not merely a conclusion to their quest, but a beginning, a promise of the journeys yet to come, and the adventures that lay in wait. It was an affirmation of the virtues of patience, wisdom, and determination, of the strength found in unity, and the growth that comes from facing the world with an open heart and a steady pace. As the celebration drew to a close, the adventurers, surrounded by their friends, looked up at the stars that filled the night sky. They saw in them the endless possibilities of the future, the journeys yet to be undertaken, and the wisdom yet to be discovered. The quest for the golden lotus had ended, but the journey of their lives had only just begun. They had ventured forth in search of treasure, returned with a wealth of wisdom, a deepened bond, and the understanding that true strength lies in the journey, not the destination. In the heart of the enchanted forest, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the celebration of slow and steady was a testament to the transformative power of patience, wisdom, and determination. It was a celebration not just of what had been achieved, but of what was yet to come, a tribute to the timeless tales of eternal and the enduring truth that the slow and steady truly do in a race. And so, as the night deepened and the forest settled into a peaceful silence, Thaddeus and his companions knew that their adventure was but a chapter in the greater story of their lives, a story of growth, of learning, and of the endless journey toward wisdom and understanding. With hearts full and spirits lifted, they looked forward to the dawn, to the new day and the new adventures it would bring, forever changed, forever grateful for the journey of the turtle's timeless tales. Chapter 3. The Secret of the Ancient Tree. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where the trees whispered secrets as old as time, stood the ancient tree. Its roots delved deep into the earth, and its branches reached high into the heavens, a testament to the ages it had witnessed. Legend spoke of a secret it held, one that could unite all creatures of the forest in harmony and understanding. Thaddeus, the wise old turtle, had always been intrigued by the tales surrounding the ancient tree. He knew that every leaf, every branch, and every root of the forest had a story, a piece of wisdom to impart, but the secret of the ancient tree was a mystery that had eluded even him, hidden within the folds of time and the whispers of the wind. One day, as the golden hues of dawn painted the sky, Thaddeus gathered his friends, the animals of the forest, each in their strengths and wisdom. The time has come, he announced, his voice carrying the weight of many years. Trying to uncover the truth behind the ancient tree's secret. This journey will not be one of distance, but of understanding, of seeing the world through each other's eyes and finding unity in our diversity. The forest buzz with excitement and curiosity. For the ancient tree had always been a beacon of mystery, its presence a constant in the ever-changing tapestry of the forest. As the group set forth, the forest seemed to watch in anticipation, its denizens whispering among the leaves and shadows. Thaddeus led the way, his slow and steady pace a reminder of the patience required for the journey ahead. The first challenge came not from the forest, but from within. The squirrel, known for his quick wit and quicker actions, proposed a solution. Why not climb to the top of the ancient tree and uncover secret from above, he suggested, eager to solve the mystery with the agility and speed that defined him. But Thaddeus, with a gentle shake of his head, replied, "The secret of the ancient tree is not one to be uncovered by haste or by reaching its highest point. It is a secret that lies deeper, rooted in the heart of the forest and in the unity of its creatures. We must journey together, learn from each other, and face the challenges as one." The group continued their path, illuminated by the dappled sunlight that filtered through the canopy. The forest whispered secrets of old, of times when it was young, and of the wisdom it gathered over countless seasons. As they journeyed deeper into the heart of the forest, they encountered the wise owl, perched upon an ancient oak. "The secret of the ancient tree," he intoned, his voice echoing the depth of his knowledge. "This not easily revealed. It requires insight, the ability to see beyond the surface, and to understand the inner and nightness of all life within the forest." With each step, the group grew closer, not just to the ancient tree, but to each other. They began to see the world through the eyes of their companions, understanding the strengths and challenges each faced. The journey to the ancient tree became more than a quest for a secret. It became a journey of discovery, of understanding, and of unity. The Saturel's quick wit, the owl's insight, and Didi's steadfast determination each played a part, weaving together a tapestry of cooperation and wisdom. As they neared the ancient tree, its presence overwhelming in its majesty and age, they realized that the journey had already begun to reveal the secret they sought. The true mystery was not in the whispering leaves or the deep roots of the tree, but in the unity and cooperation of all forest creatures and the shared journey and the wisdom it brought. The secret of the ancient tree, as ancient and as timeless as the tree itself, was beginning to unfold, a testament to the power of unity, the strength of diversity, and the enduring wisdom of the forest. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Thaddeus, the wise old turtle, prepared to embark on a journey that was unlike any he had undertaken before. This journey was not for glory or for the finding of hidden treasures, but for the uncovering of a truth that had remained a mystery for ages. The secret of the ancient tree. With his shell polished by the morning dew and his spirit alight with the fire of curiosity, Thaddeus turned to the assembly of forest animals that had gathered to witness the beginning of this grand quest. Among them were creatures of every kind. Rabbits with their ears perked in anticipation, deer with eyes wide with wonder, and birds that fluttered in casting shadows upon the ground as they circled overhead. "Friends," Thaddeus began, his voice steady and calm, yet filled with an excitement that was palpable. "Today we embark on a journey that will take us into the heart of our beloved forest. We seek not just the secret of the ancient tree, but the deeper understanding and unity it represents. Let us move forward with patience, wisdom, and an open heart, for the journey ahead is as important as the discovery itself." With those words, Thaddeus took his first deliberate step, setting the pace for the journey. Others followed, forming a procession that moved through the forest with a sense of purpose and anticipation. The path they followed was not a straight one, for the ways of the forest were winding, filled with beauty and mystery at every turn. As they journeyed, Thaddeus shared his wisdom with those who walked with him. He spoke of the seasons and the lessons they brought, of the slow growth of the trees and the quiet strength they embodied. He told tales of the forest's history, of times when harmony had prevailed and of times when discord had threatened or unraveled the very fabric of their world. The turtle's words were like seeds, planted in the hearts of the animals that accompanied him. With each step, they began to see the forest not just as a home, but as a living entity full of stories and wisdom, pain and joy. They learned to listen to the whispering leaves, to feel the pulse of the earth beneath feet, and to understand the silent language of the streams and stones. As the day wore on, the sun climbed high into the sky, casting a warm, golden light through the canopy. The journey was not an easy one. The path was fraught with obstacles that tested their resolve and their unity. There were rivers to be crossed, where the water ran deep and fast, and thickets so dense they seemed impassable. Yet under Thaddeus' guidance, the group found their way. When they encountered a river, it was the beavers who stepped forward, using their skills to construct a bridge that allowed the others to cross safely. And when the thicket barred their way, it was the birds who found a path through the treetops, guiding the travelers with their songs. With each challenge they overcame, the bond between the animals grew stronger. They learned to rely on each other, to value the unique abilities each brought to the journey, and to move forward with a sense of shared purpose. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, the group made camp at the edge of a clearing. The ancient tree was now in sight. The massive trunk and sprawling branches silhouetted against the twilight sky. It stood as a beacon, a reminder of the goal that brought them together. That night, under a canopy of stars, the animals gathered around a fire, sharing stories and dreams. Thaddeus looked upon them with a sense of pride and hope. The journey had begun, and with each step, they moved closer not only to the ancient tree, but to the understanding and unity it symbolized. The journey was far from over, but as the fire crackled and the forest whispered its secrets, there was a feel of anticipation in the air. A sense that something profound was about to be discovered. The secret of the ancient tree awaited, and with it, the promise of a deeper connection to the forest and to each other. In the heart of that journey, as the dawn unfurled its golden tapestry across the sky, the adventurers awakened to the rustling and bustling of the forest. Among them was a lively squirrel named Sable, whose spirit was as nimble as her movements. Sable had always been known for her quick and quicker solutions, but the quest for the ancient tree in secret would test her like never before. As the group resumed their journey, Thaddeus leading with his measured, deliberate steps, they soon encountered a challenge that brought them to a halt. A vast chasm lay before them, too wide to jump across and too deep to see the bottom. The animals fell into a murmur of concern, their eyes turning to the wise old turtle for guidance. Before Thaddeus could speak, Sable darted forward, her eyes alight with determination. "Fear not, my friends," she exclaimed. "I have a plan that will get us across in no time." Without waiting for a response, she scurried up a nearby tree, disappearing into its branches. The animals watched in a mix of curiosity and apprehension as Sable reappeared moments later, dragging a long vine in her mouth. "We'll use this as a bridge," she declared, tying one end of the vine to a sturdy branch that overhung the chasm. "Oh, swing across and secure the other end. They'll be quick and easy." Despite the murmurings of doubt from some members of the group, there was an undeniable allure to Sable's plan, a quick fix that promised to swiftly overcome the obstacle in their path. Thaddeus, however, watched with a gentle concern in his eyes. "Patience, Sable," he cautioned. "The forest teaches us that quick solutions are not always enduring ones." But Sable, caught up in the fervor of her plan, paid him no heed. With a running start, she leapt from the edge, the vine clutched tightly in her paws. For a moment, she flew through the air, a small silhouette against the morning sky. Then, with a grace born of countless leaps and bounds through the treetops, she landed on the other side of the chasm, the vine still in her grasp. Cheers erupted from the group, but they were quickly silenced as the branch to which the vine was tied gave a creaking groan. The weight and force of Salblum's sleep had been too much. With a loud crack, the branch snapped, sending the squirrel tumbling into a thicket below. Panic spread through the group like wildfire. However, Thaddeus remained calm. "Thou not," he said, his voice a soothing balm. "Let us think this through together, with patience and wisdom." The animals worked together, each contributing their unique abilities. The birds soared across the chasm, scouting for a safer crossing. The beavers, drawing upon their knowledge of the land, suggested a location where the chasm narrowed, offering a natural path across. With collective effort, they constructed a sturdy bridge, not just for themselves, but for future travelers of the forest. A sable was gently lifted from the thicket. Bruised, but unharmed, she looked into Thaddeus's eyes and understood. The quick fix had seemed appealing, yet it was a steady, thoughtful approach. He had truly bridged the gap. That evening, as they gathered around the campfire, the lesson of the day was clear to all. Sable, with a humility that comes from learning, spoke up. "Today I learned that patience and collective wisdom will lead to solutions that not only solve our problems, but strengthen our bonds." Thaddeus nodded, a soft smile on his face. "The forest," he mused, "like life, is full of chasms and challenges. It is not the speed with which we overcome them matters, but the care that and the unity we bring to the journey." The group slept under the stars, the chasm behind them now a testament to their growth. The quest for the ancient trade secret continued, but within each of them, a deeper understanding had taken root. The value of patience, collaboration, and the wisdom found in taking the slow and steady path. As the first light of dawn pierced the veil of night, the forest awoke to the gentle murmur of its inhabitants preparing for the day's journey. Amidst the symphony of the morning, Thaddeus, with a steadfast demeanor, gathered the group, signaling the continuation of their quest. The path that lay before them, shrouded in the thick mist of the early hours, seemed to whisper secrets of the ancient times. The group had not traveled far when they encountered a clearing, at the center of which stood an ancient oak, its limbs twisted by time, yet exuding a wisdom as profound as the ages it had witnessed. Perched upon a gnarled branch was an owl, its eyes reflecting the depth of the forest's mysteries. The animals fell into a respectful silence as the owl's gaze swept over them, finally resting on Thaddeus. "Seekers of the ancient secret," the owl intoned, its voice a melodious echo of the forest's song. "The path you tread is more than a journey through the forest. It is a journey through yourselves." The group listened, captivated by the owl's presence, to uncover the secret of the ancient tree. The owl continued, "You must first understand the essence of unity. For in unity, there is strength, and in strength, there is the power to unveil the truths hidden by time. The wisdom of the dull one," his words hung in the air, a puzzle to be solved. Thaddeus, understanding the gravity of the insight offered, bowed his head in gratitude. "Wise one," he said, "I are seekers of truth, guided by the virtues of patience and determination. Teach us how we may comprehend this unity you speak of." The owl, nodding in acknowledgement of Thaddeus' humility, offered them a challenge. Within this clearing lies a labyrinth, its paths entwined like the threads of fate. Only by navigating its complexities as one can you hope to reach its heart, where peace of the ancient secret awaits. The animals exchanged uncertain glances, the prospect of the labyrinth daunting. Yet, within their hearts, A flame of determination was kindled by the owl's words. As they approached the labyrinth, its entrance looming like a gate to another world. Thaddeus addressed the group. Let us remember the owl's wisdom. Alone, we may falter, but together, there is no obstacle we cannot overcome. With Thaddeus' words echoing in their hearts, the group entered the labyrinth, the walls of which seemed to breathe with the life of the forest. At first, they attempted to navigate the twisting paths individually, but it soon became evident that this approach only led them in circles, further from their goal. It was then that the truth of the owl's insight became clear. By sharing their observations and insights, guiding each other through the maze with the collective knowledge and intuition of the group, they began to make progress. The surah's agility, the rabbit's keen sense of direction, the bird's burial perspective, and Thaddeus' unwavering patience all contributed to their advance through the labyrinth. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they emerged into a clearing at the heart of the labyrinth. The edge, in the gentle light of the sun filtering through the canopy, stood a sapling, its leaves shimmering with a light that seemed not of this world. Approaching the sapling, they found inscribed upon its broad an ancient rune, its meaning clear to all who beheld it. Unity was a testament to their journey, a symbol of the strength found in coming together, each using their unique abilities for the benefit of all. As they made their way back to the forest, the rune of unity etched in their hearts, the group reflected on the lesson learned. The secret of the ancient tree, they realized, was not just a mystery to be uncovered, but a truth to be lived. That unity, in its purest form, is the foundation upon which all strength is built. Under the watchful gaze of the owl, now a silent guardian of their shared wisdom, the adventurers continued their quest, forever changed by the insight that had illuminated their path. After their enlightening encounter with the owl and withdrawal of the labyrinth, the band of adventurers pressed forward, the wisdom of unity now deeply ingrained within their hearts. The forest seemed to watch over them with a newfound respect, as creatures whispering tales of the group's bard and their quest for the ancient tree's secret. As the sun reached its zenith, casting a golden glow through the canopy, the adventurers found themselves before an awe-inspiring sight. Towering above, the ancient tree stood as a testament to time itself, its vast branches sprawling like the arms of the world, its roots delving deep into the mysteries of the earth. Thaddeus, eating his friends with a calm assurance, approached the tree with a reverence born of their journey's trials. The air around the tree hung with an ancient power, and upon its massive trunk symbols and runes glowed softly, beckoning the group closer. Gathered at the base of the ancient tree, the adventurers observed a series of intricate carvings that depicted various forest creatures living in harmony. It was a mirror of their own experiences, a reflection of the unity they had come to embody. Then, as if the tree itself sensed their readiness, a gentle breeze stirred its leaves, and a voice deep and resonant filled their minds. You who seek the secret of the ages, behold the truth that binds all life. It spoke, the forest holding its breath in anticipation. The ground beneath them shimmered, revealing a hidden network of roots connecting the ancient tree to every corner of the forest, intertwining it the lives of all its inhabitants. The adventurers watched in awe as scenes played out before them, showing how each creature, from the smallest ant to the mightiest elephant, contributed to the well-being of the forest. It was a symphony of life, each part essential to the harmony of the whole. The secret you seek, the voice of the ancient tree continued, lies not within a hidden treasure or a singular entity. It resides in the unity and cooperation of all living beings. Together you are stronger, wiser, and capable of overcoming the greatest of challenges. The revelation struck a chord within each adventurer's heart, a profound understanding of their connection to the world and each other. They realized that the secret of the ancient tree was not a mere message to be heard, but a truth to be lived and shared. As the vision faded, the group found themselves encircled by the forest's inhabitants, drawn by the power of the ancient tree's revelation. Thaddeus, with a smile that spoke of deep gratitude and wisdom, addressed his friends and the assembled creatures. Let this day mark a new beginning for our forest, a testament to the strength found in unity and cooperation. Together, there is no darkness we cannot overcome, no challenge too great. The animals cheered, their voices a harmonious echo through the trees, as the ancient tree rings glowed brighter, sealing the bond of unity among them. The secret of the tree, now revealed, became a guiding light for all who called the forest home. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows and painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the adventurers knew their journey had come to an end. But the story of their quest of the wisdom they had gained would ripple through the ages. The revelation of the tree's secret was more than an end. It was a beginning, a promise of a future built on the foundations of unity and shared strength. And in the heart of the forest, under the watchful gaze of the ancient tree, a legacy of that journey would thrive for generations to come, a timeless tale of unity, wisdom, and the indomitable spirit of cooperation. In the days following the revelation of the ancient tree's secret, the forest was abuzz with a newfound sense of purpose and harmony. Animals of all kinds, from the fluttering wings of the birds to the creeping insects underfoot, arced together in a celebration of unity they had never before been witnessed. Thaddeus, the wise old turtle, watched over the forest with a heart brimming with joy. He had seen the change that had come over his friends and the forest itself. The animals, once preoccupied with their individual lives, now gathered regularly beneath the ancient tree, sharing stories, wisdom, and the fruits of their labor. The unity of the forest animals manifested in ways both small and grand. Squirrels and birds collaborated to plant an orchard of fruit trees, ensuring food for all. The beavers and the fish worked together to clean the river that ran through the forest, making the water crystal clear and teeming with life. Even the one solitary owl offered nightly lessons in the stars and the moon, sharing his wisdom with any who wished to learn. Each day brought a new project, a new adventure, and a deepening bond among the forest inhabitants. The once elusive idea of unity had become their greatest strength, a treasure far surpassing any they could have imagined finding on their quests. As the seasons turned, the forest thrived like never before. The animals had created a community that was the envy of neighboring lands, a paradise where every creature, big and small, had a place and a voice. This transformation was, for Thaddeus, Serene realized, a testament to the power of patience, wisdom, and determination. On a particularly radiant day, when the sun hung low, bathing the forest in a warm, golden light, the animals gathered once more beneath the ancient tree. This time, however, it was to honor the one who had guided them through their darkest times, heading to this era of peace and prosperity. Thaddeus, surrounded by his friends and the many faces of the forest, felt a humble pride. He had lived many years, seen the ebb and flow of life. But this moment was his greatest achievement. Friends, Thaddeus began, his voice steady and filled with emotion. That we have achieved together is a miracle of the heart. We have learned not when we join paws, claws, and wings. There is nothing we cannot accomplish. The secret of the ancient tree lies within each of us, a beacon of what can be achieved when we stand united. Cheers and applause rose from the crowd, a cacophony of joy and celebration that echoed through the forest. But amidst the celebration, Thaddeus' thoughts turned to the future, to the legacy that would leave for generations yet to come. As the celebration continued, a young sapling, planted at the base of the ancient tree, caught Coziest's eye. It stood as a symbol of their unity, a promise to the future. Turning to the assembly, Thaddeus spoke once more. Let this sapling grow as we have grown, strong and together. May it remind us of our journey, our struggles, and our triumphs. And may it stand as a testament to the unity of the forest animals. For now and forever, the forest echoed with a solemn vow, a promise to uphold the unity and peace they had found. The legacy of the wise old turtle and the secret of the ancient tree, what Levon cherished and protected by the elm called forest home. And so, the story of their unity became a legend, a tale passed down through the ages, inspiring all who heard it to seek the strength found in togetherness, patience, and love. The forest towards a place of solitary existence. As it became a beacon of hope, a community bound by the deepest of magics. The magic of unity. In the heart of the enchanted forest, under the watchful gaze of the ancient tree, the unity of the forest animals stood as a testament to the power of friendship, cooperation, and the enduring wisdom of a wise old turtle named Thaddeus. In the enchanted forest, where the ancient trees whispered of old, and the rivers sang songs of the ages, the legacy of Thaddeus, the wise old turtle, flourished like the lush greenery that enveloped his magical route. His journey with the forest animals to discover the secret of the ancient tree had become a legend, a story that echoed through the forest, inspiring all who heard it. As seasons changed and years passed, the unity and harmony that Thaddeus had nurtured within the forest only grew stronger. Animals worked together in peace, their bonds unbreakable, their spirits intertwined with the very essence of the forest. The sapling planted beneath the ancient tree had grown tall and sturdy, a living symbol of their shared journey and the unity it had forged. Thaddeus, now revered as the elder of the forest, spent his days basking in the shade of the ancient tree, his heart full of peace. Animals young and old would gather around him, eager to hear the tales of their ancestors, journey to unity and the wisdom that had guided them. Thaddeus shared his story with a gentle humility, his voice carrying the weight of experience and the warmth of his enduring spirit. The strength of the forest lies not in its trees, but in the unity of its inhabitants, Thaddeus would say, his eyes sparkling with a knowledge born of countless moons. Remember, my friends, that together there is no storm we cannot weather, no challenge too great to overcome. As the wise old turtle spoke, the creatures of the forest listened with rapt attention, their hearts open to the lessons of the past and the promise of the future. That the users' words were not just stories. They were a beacon, guiding them toward a future where unity and peace reigned supreme. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and gold, Thaddeus gathered the forest animals for what he knew would be his final tale. With the ancient tree standing tall behind him, its leaves whispering in the gentle breeze, Thaddeus looked upon the faces of his friends, his family, one last time. My journey began a minute ago, in search of a secret that I thought lay hidden in the heart of the forest. Thaddeus began, his voice soft but clear. The true secret, the magic that binds us all, was here all along, in the unity and love we share for each other in our home. As Thaddeus shared his final words of wisdom, a profound silence enveloped the forest, a sacred moment shared by all who called it home. Carry forward the legacy we have built, my dear friends. Let the unity of the forest be your strength, and let the love you hold for each other be your guide. With that, Thaddeus, the wise old turtle, closed his eyes, his spirit as light as the breeze that danced through the leaves of the ancient tree. In that moment, the forest mourned, but it also celebrated the life of one who had changed the course of their history, who had shown them the power of unity, wisdom, and patience. Thaddeus's legacy lived on, not just in the tales told beneath the ancient tree, but in the hearts of every creature in the forest. The unity he had fostered became the foundation of her existence, a legacy of love and cooperation that transcended time. And so, in the heart of the enchanted forest, beneath the boughs of the ancient tree, the legacy of the wise old turtle endured. It was a testament to the truth that unity is the greatest strength, a message that echoed through the ages, inspiring all who lived in the magical realm of the forest. In the years to come, the Thaddeus story, the tale of the turtle who had united the forest, would be passed down from generation to generation. A timeless reminder of the wisdom, patience, and love that had brought them together and would keep them united. For